Shorty wanna be, someday gonna be. Shorty wanna be, shorty wanna be a thug. Someday gonna be, stay wanna be. Shorty wanna be a thug. Why am I saying that? Why am I singing that? We're talking about a 14-year-old kid who took a firearm into a school for a regular old bathroom fight that we all have had as kids, a little regular dust up. He pulls out a weapon, shot his friend in the bathroom, and then run out as if he wasn't gonna get caught. 14 years old with a firearm in school fighting in a bathroom. We're looking at a culture that has failed us. I want y'all to see this young man. You're looking at a culture that is failing. This is a 14-year-old kid. Instead of just being able to just fight, scrap, get it over with, it always got to turn into a weapon. I do not understand this. Me personally, I think the gym coach, the guidance counselor, or the principal should be designated people that a young boy should be able to go to and say, look, I'm having a problem with this other student, and I got to have one. We gonna fight at some point. And at that point, you bring those two kids together by themselves, sanction it with a coach, with somebody to referee a boxing match. You give them the gloves or UFC style. If they can't get it off their chest, allow them to fight with some referees to break it up because that's a sport. But it would be way better than now. This young man is facing some serious felony charges and facing time like an adult. And then another kid, it could potentially, lose his life. He was powed in a bathroom. No one sends their kid to school to get into a fight. No one sends their kid to school to get powed at either. But if it's me personally, I would much rather my son get into a sanctioned boxing match that he agrees to, other than trying to figure it out on their own, getting lured into a bathroom with a kid under the thought process that you're going to fight. And then this kid pulls out a weapon because you can clearly see they both entered into the bathroom to fight. So adults got to step in and do some adult things. You don't want to encourage them to fight, no. But you want, if they can't get it off their chest, I would rather it be sanctioned for an adult to referee the situation so it don't go too far. This is too far. This culture got to stop. Otherwise, we won't have any youth left. This little boy is going to do, if they're not lenient on him, he's going to do a lot of time in jail. And if that young man loses his life, he's going to do a lot more time in jail. So let's hear the story.
Tuesday, Tuesday, the 18th. Mr. Willis, that doesn't mean the VA has to present it to them. They'll have to do it at some time, and they basically meet mostly every other Tuesday. So the next possible day, or the earliest possible day, would be next Tuesday, August the 18th. You can anytime you wish to waive your rights and enter guilty plea, you can notify court or the law enforcement officer whose custody you're in, and you'll make those arrangements, okay? Do you have any questions about your rights? All right, so I'm gonna, you if you want to say, yeah, we let them have that, so, Mr. Willis, what I'm handing you is just a written version of what I just told you, okay? And if you would like, I'll make sure there's a copy provided to mom, that you can copy that to your attorney, and the court will keep a copy itself, okay? I am not going to entertain the issue of bonds today. You'll remain in custody of the YEC. Generally, you come up a week from Thursday automatically on our bond calendar. If you hire an attorney, they can talk to the DA's office and they'll know what to do about getting on calendar if they want to make that argument, okay? Anything else? No. All right. He can be returned to the right meeting. Thank you. You can let me
So you've been watching live with us here out of Houston County, where the 14-year-old suspect accused of opening fire inside of Warner Robins High School yesterday faced a judge for the first time. This is for that first appearance hearing, essentially a bond hearing. So what I can tell you, obviously that audio was incredibly poor using the front mic of those cameras that are inside the courtroom. But let me walk you through what I did here and what I understood from that Houston County judge. So she mentioned a grand jury. So it does sound like this is going to obviously have to go to a grand jury, which is typical in situations like this. They'll ultimately decide. Bond was denied in this case, but it might be just based off the charges. So there's going to be another hearing, a bond hearing, specifically to take up the discussion of bond for this 14-year-old suspect. And at that point, it will be decided whether that person, whether he'll be able to be released. So we know all of this unfolded yesterday, a shooting inside of Warner Robins High School. Let me just walk you through what we know. You can see people are now filing out of the courtroom. We know that that 14-year-old, apparently, according to investigators, there was some sort of fight that escalated to a shooting inside of the high school. Investigators say the 9th grader shot a classmate during a fight in the bathroom, and it happened around 2:15 yesterday afternoon. They say that teenager who you just saw ran out of the school after and was caught in a neighborhood across from the school. And obviously parents rushed to the scene. You can see it. An officer there had an assault rifle out. We are going to continue to monitor this and bring you the very latest throughout the afternoon right here on Fox 5 News Live. But what you just watched, just to reiterate the news, we know that the suspect, who we're not sure his name at this point, that has not been released, and it was very hard to make out the exact name, but bond has been denied and will be pushed off to a later date. It sounds like a week from Thursday. He'll appear in court once again. We are going to stay on top of this and bring you the very latest.
And I want to show y'all something. I want to show y'all something that they're going to be watching, because this is one of the statistics and things that they talk about. And there's a reason why they pan this camera over like this. You see who's sitting there by herself? You see who's sitting there by herself? We can make the assumption of who that is. Looks like his mother. Looks like a single mother with this young kid by herself. And I don't know if you notice it or not, this fatigue is running strong. And the numbers that they're looking at, these us black males between the ages of 14 and like 33 or 35 or something like that, maybe even up to 40. Thank God I'm 44. But it's all the way from teenage to like, I guess 35, 40, where black men are their account for all like 60% of the homicides in the United States of America. And a large portion of that group comes from, you guessed it, single mothers. And so it used to be something that was praised. And now these numbers that we got is not going to be praised, not too often. The numbers that's out there now are going to overshadow the good mothers that's out there. It's too much teen takeovers, too much wilding out in the streets, it's too much violence. And it does not seem that these young ladies, some of them, not all, does not seem that some of them, and especially in some of these neighborhoods, are not able to handle these teenage boys by themselves. It's hard enough to do it with two parents, but by themselves, I know I can bet you my life to a leaf that none of my sons in the household with me would ever take a firearm to a school and do anything of the sort. My son is not even going to go in the bathroom with you, because that's an isolated place that's probably can lead to something like that. And now my son probably could have got lured to a fight somewhere else and probably could have got pow. And that's the unfortunate thing. You raise your child to not want no problems, but be man enough to accept a problem with one person. And then that person don't honor, you know what I mean? This boy has no morals. This boy has no integrity. He has no honor. A young man with honor and respect, if I enter into a fight with you, whether I'm losing or not, I'm not going to pull out no weapon. I agreed to this. I agreed to this mutual combat. As wrong as it is, against school policy as it is, if I agreed to this, I'm not going to pull out a weapon. I can say, hey, man, I got enough. You know, you got it. You won. But the one thing you don't do is pull out a weapon. So these young boys are not being raised with bravery. They're not being raised with integrity. They're not being raised with a moral compass to understand this one little situation should not go so far that it's going to affect everybody in my life. This is going to affect everybody. This one situation, it ain't no takebacks. Mama can't save him now. It ain't no oops, my bad. It ain't no he my baby. He in custody. And once you get in them folk system, especially nowadays when people got fatigue and they looking for sweat equity, and you're 14, he can go to juvenile. He can get juvenile life, and then they can take him and send him to prison for a few years for this one situation, depending on if this young boy lost his life or not. So fathers are needed. Raising a young boy with bravery, honor, integrity, and respect is needed too. And I thank God for growing up in the 80s, because all the young men I entered into a fight with, they honored what they entered into the fight to do, which is fight one-on-one, like we agreed to do, like young boys are supposed to. That's supposed to grow up brave to fight for their young ladies. And it ain't respect. It ain't tough just to pull out a gun and try to unalive somebody. That shows that you're a coward. If you lose, you lose. Hey, you dust yourself off. You try the next time. There's always a man out there that can beat you. But in this new put you on the internet type of lifestyle, don't nobody want to take no losses. And that's unfortunate. So I'll be doing updates on this story to see how the other person in this situation fared and if they're okay. And I'll be doing an update to see what type of sentencing this young boy get. But thank you guys for coming into this pre-record. Yes, I know you done asked me about 20 times and I ain't been answering you because it's a pre-record. I can't see you in there. But I will be back. I got another pre-record coming. Salute to y'all. Make sure you tap that like button. I'm gone.